Hello and welcome. I'm Bimbo Oluyede. Tonight, PDP presidential campaign storms Kano. President Jonathan promises to boost agriculture in the state and make it export-oriented. APC presidential candidate General Muhammadu Buhari speaks on the controversy over his qualifications, says certificate to be published in national newspapers. Minister of Agriculture confirms outbreak of bird flu in 7 states of Nigeria, lists measures to curb spread. And top EU official warns of imminent mass exodus of Jews from Europe over terror threats.
And on business news tonight, the Central Bank of Nigeria reaffirms adequate liquidity at the forex and bond markets.
While on sports news, Aruna Quadri leads Nigeria's 12-member team to the International Table Tennis Federation Africa Senior Championships in Cairo, Egypt.
We begin tonight in Kano, northwest Nigeria, where the People's Democratic Party campaign train met in an enthusiastic crowd of supporters who had turned out to show solidarity with the ruling party. Addressing the crowd at the Polo Ground, venue of the rally, the national chairman of the PDP, Alhaji Adamu Muazu, said the party not only controls Kano, but is guaranteed a large percentage of votes from the state. In the same vein, President Goodluck Jonathan told the gathering that he will ensure peace in the north and priority will be given to job creation. The president also talked about boosting the agricultural sector in the state.
Under the scorching sun, Kano stands still for the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate, Goodluck Jonathan, and his team. At every call, there's a response by this large crowd, mostly youth. The president mounts the podium, feeling impressed about the large turnout at the campaign. And as usual, he makes his promises, concentrating on wealth creation through agriculture.
Kano is known for education, is known for agriculture, is known for commerce and industry. And that's why this present administration will work with you, work with the governor that is coming, to make sure that we don't just produce food, but we process the food and export it.
For the national chairman of the PDP, Alhaji Adamu Muazu, what is guaranteed of their votes? As all await the big election on February 14, the question raised by watchers is how many from crowds like this have their permanent voters' cards. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate, General Muhammadu Buhari, has dismissed insinuations that he has no primary and secondary school leaving certificate qualifications. Addressing the media in Kano today, General Buhari said he attended the provincial secondary school Kaduna, now known as Government College, and mentioned the late General Shehu Musa Yaradua and the former president of the appeal court, Umar Abdullahi, as his classmates. And when asked to tender the certificates, the general told the journalists that the school will publish the certificate in national newspapers in due course.
I had assumed all along that all my records were in the custody of the military secretary of the Nigerian army, a position I have the privilege to occupy myself. Much to my surprise, we are now told that although a record of the result is available, there are no copies of the certificates in my personal file. This is why I formally requested my old school, the Provincial Secondary School Kaduna, which is now known as Government College Kaduna, to make available the school's copy of the result of the Cambridge West African School Certificate. This will be made available to the press the moment this is available. However, before we obtain that, let me say for the record that I attended Provincial Secondary School, Kaduna. I graduated in 1961 with many prominent Nigerians, including General Sheikh Musa Adwa, former Chief of Staff and Supreme Headquarters, and Justice Umar Abdullahi, a former President of the Court of Appeal. We sat for the University of Cambridge WASC examination together in 1961, the year we graduated. My examination number was 82000002, and I passed the examination in the second division. And although the ruling party may want to wish this away, the issue in this campaign cannot be my certificate, which I obtained 53 years ago. The issues are the scandalous level of unemployment of millions of young people, the state of the insecurity, the pervasive official corruption, which has impoverished our people, and the lack of concern of the government for anything other than the retention of power at all costs.
Well, barely 4 hours after General Buhari promised to make public copies of his credentials, Channels Television has obtained copies of the APC presidential candidate's credentials. The first document, as obtained by us, shows a senior secondary school certificate result sheet from the Ministry of Education in Katsina State with today's date and a stamp of the principal of the government secondary school, Katsina. On the result, General Buhari has 5 credits out of the 8 subjects the report sheet shows he sat for. The other document is a University of Cambridge printout showing the grades for General Buhari as well as 17 others, including that of the late Shehu Musa Yaradua, brother of the former president, late Umaru Yaradua. The printout was signed by the current principal of Katsina College, which was formerly called Provincial College Katsina, where General Buhari took his WAEC exams in 1961. Meanwhile, the PDP appears not satisfied with the explanations being provided by the APC presidential candidate, as it has accused him of lying under oath over the issue of his credentials. The director of media for the PDP presidential campaign organization, Femi Fani-Kayode, also told journalists in Abuja that the APC equally violated the peace accord recently signed to ensure violence-free elections, claiming that APC supporters attacked the presidential convoy of the PDP in Katsina. After the leadership tussle in the Labour Party, which shook the Ogun State chapter, the party seems to be getting its bearing right with the unveiling of its governorship candidate for the February election. At the party's secretariat in Abeokuta, Mr. Bolaji Sumola from Abeokuta South local government area in Ogun Central Senatorial District was unveiled as the party's candidate. Accepting the mandate, Mr. Sumola promised to provide purposeful leadership by changing people's lives for the better.
You put this Labour Party, this government into the circle of power, the issue of education will be properly addressed. The reward of our teachers is no more in the heaven. It's on this earth that they shall reap that reward. I stood here in Abeokuta for 5 years. It was marvelous. You are here. It will never be the same again. Because in the past, we have endured. You have endured enough. This is the time for you now to benefit. Your benefit, your satisfaction, your greatness is not be in the grave. It's on this mother earth that you should enjoy it.
Staying with the Ogun State politics, Governor Bikunle Amosun today received praises from residents of some riverine communities in the state when he took his campaign to the area. They commended the government, especially for education development and rural electrification. The governor promised not to relent, but ensure that he brings more development to their communities.
local government is unique in several respects. You've seen it. This is where we have the deepest end of the ocean in Nigeria. Indeed, we didn't have the time to see we were in the lagoon, you didn't see the Atlantic Ocean itself. But this is where the moisture glocola is. You've seen it. This is where Iwokun paper mill is. Several of these gigantic projects, this is where it is. Indeed, if you see the rubber plantation, you've been following us, the palm plantation, a lot of things, Iloshi rubber plant, Lomiro oil plantation, Iwokun paper mill, this local government is very key. But for us to really actualize all of these lofty dreams and ideas, we need to have the support of the presidency too, the federal government. And that's why I kept stressing this to them, the need for them to not only vote me or vote our people at the state level, they need to vote too at the federal level. But you've seen what we've done. In the area of electricity that they are talking about, we have actually paid all the money to Ibadan Disco. And I'm sure they are effecting the repairs any moment from now. Even before the election, they will have the light. On the road, I've explained to them, if we've been able to do all the Ogun Standard roads, which is like times 10 more expensive, why will we not have the capacity to do this? But the way it is, we must open our place, the urban first, so that we can encourage and attract all the would-be investors. We are happy that it's working. They are all here now. They need land. If you look at it, all of those central places, urban places, they don't have land for even all these developmental programs. But once they are coming now, we are now bringing them back to this axis. And it means automatically that all the roads must be fixed, all the infrastructure must be in place, and that we have started.
In part two, after the break, military says it is prepared to play its role to ensure hitch-free elections next month. Do stay with us.